Simply Fajika, a place for budding and inspiring entrepreneurs. Listen, if you are looking for a place for home care content, then you have found the right place. And for those of you who continue to indulge in my content, I just want to welcome you back and thank you for watching today's video. A couple of reminders before we get started. Remember, I am conducting my home care licensing course. This is something that I have scaled back to only once a year, just because I want to make sure that I give my clients the right time and attention needed to get their licensing. So this is the last week that you have to register for the home care licensing course. Make sure you reach out to me at simplyfajika@yahoo.com just so we can have a small consultation prior to you registering. Okay. Secondly, ADP. Remember, if you are looking for payroll services, if you're looking for that workers' comp insurance and retirement plans for your employees, I have a deal where I can get you 6 months free. So make sure you DM me on Instagram at simplyfajika, or you can email me at simplyfajika@yahoo.com. So thank you so much for sitting through those announcements. In today's video, for those of you who have been in my community for a while, you know that a lot of times I take some of my consultations, some of the content that I discuss with them, I bring it back to the channel. And I am still I'm hearing from a lot of you, man, I am working my hardest. I'm doing all that I can, and I still have not got my first client. So in today's video, we are talking about how do I get my first home care client? And if that's something that you're interested in, and I truly hope it is, then stay tuned. I'm definitely going to take my time with this video because I can understand and sense the frustration when I talk to some of you. It is, you put all this time, money, energy into standing up your home care agency, and then you feel like, hey, I haven't got this first client. What's going on? But I'm here. You know, I'm always going to encourage you. I have shared on this channel a couple of times now. I remember getting my license. I remember being so excited when the state let me know that I was licensed. And I just kind of call it naive, you know, call it green. I just thought that, you know, some light switch was going to go off behind the scenes and people were going to start reaching out to me. But the truth of the matter is, yes, your clients need your services, but they don't quite know who you are. So it's really your job to connect your agency to those people that require your services, okay? So the first step is understand who your client is. You all know that I really do push doing a business plan. For some states, it is a requirement of your licensing process, but for other states, that's not even mentioned during the licensing process. For me, I feel like you should do a business plan so that you can understand what all is involved in this industry, you know, and so part of that is understanding who your ideal client is. So this goes beyond the services that you provide. It's really about who are your clients, what is their age, what is their median income, you know, what services do they need from you? Once you make that decision and understand who your client is, then it's easier to market to them. You can understand, well, where are those people? How can I reach them? And then once you reach them, what does marketing to them look like? So that first step is always going to be understanding who your client is. The second tip that I have from you is you got to let everyone know you're in business. You can do this a couple of ways, because remember, this is another thing that I say on this channel a lot is this home care business is a word of mouth business. It's absolutely a referral based business. And so you want to start from your inner circle and then you go out from there. So your inner circle, you know, send some text messages, make a few calls. For those people where you have their email addresses over the years, send them an email, send them a text, make a few phone calls, let them know you're in business. So once you start from your inner circle, you want to work your way out. So that looks like your Facebook, right? Your Instagram, your social media accounts that you can say, hey, I'm in business. here's what I'm offering, here's what I'm looking to achieve, so that your people that are in support of you can support you either by engaging you in your services or at least spreading the word on your behalf if they are not in need of your services. And remember, this is not going to be like a huge, long, lengthy email, right? The text or the email, the phone call is, hey, I definitely want to let you know that I have launched a home care business in XYZ city, and I am ready to serve our seniors. If you know of anyone needing that type of service, they can reach me at XYZ. It's something just as small as that, because remember, you want to make sure that you only have a few seconds, if even a full minute, to keep someone's attention. So what do you want to say in that quick minute? What do you want to say in those short few seconds? You really want to grab their attention and then absolutely throw in that call to action. Third, you want to visit those local referral sources. So again, churches, assisted living centers, hospitals, discharge planners at assisted living centers, discharge planners at hospitals as well. You don't want to just go into the hospital and not know who you're asking for, right? And so some of that may require some a little bit of due diligence on your end in terms of, so who is the person you are looking to speak to, right? I have heard recently, I've had some candid conversations with some of you, and some of you are telling me you're getting pushback from the person that's answering the phone. So remember, I have done a video on scripting. One of my clients was gracious enough to allow us to kind of talk through some of this, what scripting may sound like. But certainly you want to make sure you're getting the right person on the phone. And once you have them on the phone, I would have planned to the T what I'm going to say to that person, okay? And remember, if this person is not who you're looking to speak to, there's no use in, doing your whole spiel. It's really, I really want to get in contact with the person who is in charge of discharge planning. I want to speak to a person who is a care coordinator, that type of thing. You want to be clear on what you want or who you need to speak to so that you can make that connection and determine what are next best steps. Okay, very important. Don't spend a lot of time talking to someone who either doesn't want to serve you in that conversation or they're the wrong person that you need to be speaking to. Just a couple of tips here. When you finally do score that in-person setting, right, that in-person meeting, you want to come with your brochures, you want to come with your business cards, and certainly depending on what the setup is. So sometimes they will allow you to do a presentation on your business. Sometimes it's more of just a conversation. Hey, what do you do? What do you offer? So you want to come in strong. What are the benefits? What do you hope to do? Who are you trying to serve? Right? So you don't want to have a lot of small talk. Absolutely, you are being professional, but you are there to sell your services. A couple things that I want to say here. You really want to practice this thing. You want to practice your pitch. You want to practice what it is that you're saying. Because if you're not sure of yourself, if you're speaking to me and I can tell you're unsure of yourself, I'm going to be unsure of your services. So you really want to come in there, be bold, be brief, and be powerful. Be powerful in the fact that you are the agency that they want to partner with. Last tip that I want to mention here before we move into the fourth tip. What I want to make sure is when you leave that conversation, you want to make sure that you know what next steps are. So you don't want to leave anything up in the air. You don't want to feel like, wow, I should have said this, I should have said that. So in other words, if I called you, I knew you were having this meeting with an assisted living center, and I called you and say, hey, how do you feel how the meeting went? Number one, you should feel good. But if I ask you, hey, so what are next steps? You shouldn't be saying, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know, okay? Remember, this is your agency. As you're closing out that meeting, if the person says, hey, we'll be in touch with you, your follow-up question should be, okay, so should I be expecting a phone call from you, or did you want me to check back in with you if I haven't heard from you in a couple of days? Okay, so depending on what that person says, you want to kind of seal that in, right? You want to make sure that both of you are leaving that conversation understanding what's going to take place. Okay, so hey, thank you so much for your time and effort today. So are you going to be calling me next week, or should I follow up with you in a few days if I haven't heard from you? I just want to make sure I'm respecting your time, right? It's just as simple as that, right? Maybe that person has to follow up with another person to ensure that they want to move forward in the partnership. Great. When do you expect to hear from that person? Okay, wonderful. I'll go ahead and give you a couple of days and I'll follow up with you then. Okay, so it's just making sure that you are closing each and every transaction that's mentioned in that conversation. Okay, so you don't have to be pushy, but you do have to make sure that the conversation moves in a way that you understand what's involved in those next steps. And then I would say a bonus tip here is make sure that you have either business cards with you wherever you go. You know, you just never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to talk to. And a lot of times these conversations do lead into, so what do you do? What do you do? And so as you're having those conversations and you're exchanging pleasantries, you want to have that business card so that that person can remember you. Maybe they know someone, or maybe they need to get in contact with someone who may need care, right? And so you want to have that card. You want to have something where you can exchange information, and that person can just kind of reach into their wallet or reach into their purse later once they get in contact with that person. So just always want to make sure you have something to promote your business, even during the small conversations. The fourth tip that I have for you, and this is a big one too, is to make sure you're utilizing online marketing. So I think the first thing that comes top of mind is that Google page. I have said before that for me, this is just a gift that keeps on giving. I've had a very good experience with Google page. And so you just want to make sure that you are still just like a website, using those SEO keywords, that you have plenty of pictures, you know, because people want to take a look at, okay, who is this agency? And that picture, what you're putting in that Google page, it starts to create a picture of who you are as an agency. As soon as you have referrals, get those comments, get those compliments, get, you know, what people are saying about you or your agency, get that on there, because people that are trying to decide if they want to do business with you, they want to know what past customers have said about you. Okay, so make sure those type of things gives you a nice healthy Google page. Definitely same thing goes for Facebook business page, just making sure a lot of times we have our personal page, and that's okay, but remember you are running a business, and so you want to have a professional nice business Facebook page. And then finally, I'm going to mention care.com and Nextdoor. Again, this is a place where you can post your agency and really get those caregiver leads. Now, the last tip that I have for you is offering that in-home consultation. So it is nice to talk to someone on the phone, absolutely. And that's a lot of times where your interaction is going to start on the phone. But you really want to have an opportunity to get into that person's home so that you can show your agency off. I have done a video on this before, so absolutely make sure to just peruse my channel. I have done so many videos on these types of things, and I think one of them is entitled something like, what do you put in the client's marketing folder? So when you go into that client's home, you just want to make sure that you have a brochure, that you have a list of your services. So whether that's a flyer or something that just mentions what you do, you want to have a copy of either your business license to operate in that city if that's needed. But of course, if you are licensed by the state, which you should be, if that's a requirement for the state that you're operating in, you want to have that as well. And then you want to have some type of client intake form. And so again, it's just really nice presentation, you know, and it really does kind of depend on budget here. You can have just a regular folder to put that in. If you do have a regular folder, I would just put like a flyer, something really nice and colorful as the front of the folder, just to really, you know, look very nice for your client. If you can have pre-made folders that have all of your information, that's always a nice look. You can, I like when those folders have your business card inserts, so you can just have your, you know, your business card flush on the front end when they open it up. You know, just a nice presentation. If you have anything that has your business name and address on it, like such as a pen or things of that nature, it's nice to kind of stick that in there. But just something to where you're making the person feel warm, and then you're presenting yourself as a nice professional agency. I love to have those types of things. Okay. But again, these are just things. I feel like the more you do these types of presentations, you'll start to see, well, how can I make mine unique? What is that person looking for? It's, for me, I'm always revising and adjusting how I do things, because the more you speak to people, then you can start understanding how to kind of delve into those needs and meet them before they're being requested of you. So just, this is your time to shine. So really keep that in mind as you go into that client's home. A goal that you can set is, man, if I make it into that client's home, they're gonna want to work with me. Okay, so if you're making that statement, if you're making that affirmation, it's up to you to understand how to make that true. Okay, how to make that an actuality for you. So that is the last tip that I have for you. Remember, even if utilizing all these tips, if you find yourself frustrated because you are not getting any traction, then you really have to dissect what is it that you're doing and what part of your process is not working. Is there a part of your process that needs revision? And once you decide that, once you make some changes, you got to hit it. You got to hit it hard, and you got to keep hitting it until you start seeing results. Okay, so I hope that you found that this video was a value add. If before you leave, if you enjoyed today's content, I would love for you to like the video. I would definitely love you to share this content with others who may benefit from it, and subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell notification so that you're notified each and every time I release a new video. Listen, that's all I have for you all today. Stay blessed.